Let's get the little Durk. Murder for hire. He's done. He's done. California murder for hire, mandatory minimum 30 or the death penalty. You understand? California murder for hire, mandatory minimum of 30 years, all the way up to the death penalty. Now they're not going to push for the death penalty, but more than likely he's going to get life in prison. So let's go to, okay, there's two things I want to cover with Durk. Okay. So let's go here. All right, first, reports from the ground from the ground floor. He had an initial appearance this afternoon in the U.S. District Court of Miami. He waived an identity hearing and agreed to remain in custody for transport by the U.S. Marshal's office to L.A., where he will be arraigned at a later date. Listen, he ain't had no choice but to remain in custody. He's not getting any bail. He's being held with no bail, no bond, nothing. Okay? And you best believe LA not going to give you no fucking bail. You're not getting the bail, bruh. You're going to sit and fight your case from inside the Twin Towers, right? Let's see what else did he say? Because Jason was cooking. Oh, okay, wait. Let me go back. Where'd it go? Okay. So that's the criminal complaint. We're gonna go over the indictment. Don't worry, I got you. All right. So here's what happened. After 5 of his associates were arrested in Chicago early Thursday morning, Durk allegedly flew to Fort Lauderdale and booked international travel to Dubai as well as Switzerland, but he didn't get on either flight. Instead, the feds say he was listed on a private plane jet to Italy. Now, Italy has extradition. Switzerland has extradition. Okay? So you weren't even looking at non-extradition countries. You were just looking at the first place to get out. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Plan to take a private jet to Italy after his associates were arrested in the murder for hire plot. The feds say now Durk is in custody in Florida, charged with putting a monetary bounty out for the arrival of a killing a rival. Now, where is? No, that's not her. I want this. What is this? Okay. Real quick.
Did you see the latest breaking news on the Durk shit?
What was it? What you got?
Oh God! So apparently, the way they arrested him last night, you were right on the arrest. We got to give it up. Listen, Wack is not 100%. I even apologize publicly for doubt.
You need Wack 100. You need a Wack 100. I like Wack now more than ever. But come on, for the street commentary, right?
Wack 100 and exposers. The exposers have came through yet again. Now they said. So the other dudes got indicted via grand jury, which was they had that indictment for a couple months. Now remember, I was skeptical that Durk was getting picked up the same day because his name is now on the indictment. We get to find out. You know how he got arrested? A federal agent phoned into the judge and did a complaint. So they're gonna have some type of grand jury stuff on him. But they said that they were monitoring Durk and he had booked a flight to go to Italy. And they said, "Oh, this thing is running." That's why they locked him up last night.
Yeah, they say he booked like 3 different flights. Switzerland over there.
You know the reason why they picked Puffy up a night early because his jet landed in Teterboro.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's what people don't realize.
A lot of people don't know that Puff rents the jet out.
But also a lot of people don't realize that, and you know this, when Sean Carter and Beyonce come to New York, they all land at Teterboro. So
yes, Teterboro is a private airport. We know that. But, okay, so let's get to the first indictment against the 5. Okay. Is this them? No. That's Durk's. Okay, this is the initial 5, right? Cuz, Didi, Flocka, Brown Eyes, and Boogie. Okay, now we suspect who's who. Okay, let's continue. Okay, co-conspirators 1 through 5 were members or associates of an organization called Only the Family, or OTF. Okay, all right, so here we go. November 6, 2020, DB, a high-ranking OTF member, got into a physical altercation with TB at a nightclub in Atlanta, Georgia. During the fight, an associate of TB pulled out a gun and shot DB multiple times, killing him. After the murder, co-conspirator number 1, that's Durk, made clear in coded language that co-conspirator 1 would pay a bounty or monetary reward and or make a payment to anyone who took part in killing TB. That's Quando Rondo. Okay. For his role in DB's murder. That'd be Vaughn. All right. On or about August 18th, 2022, the conspirators learned that TB was staying at a hotel in Los Angeles. Now, co-conspirator 4 is very important. Okay, as alleged in counts 1 and 2, after learning of TB's location, defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles for the purpose of murdering TB. On that same day, defendant Grant also traveled by private jet to LA. Okay. On alleged counts 1 and 2, August 19, 2022, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2, we suspect that is OTF Jam. Okay, OTF Jam is the trigger man. This is all speculation, but you know, the hood, we kind of piecing this stuff together. Used 2 vehicles to track, stalk, and attempt to kill TB by gunfire, including with a fully automatic firearm, resulting in the death of SR. That's Lil Pub. That's Rondo's cousin, right? Okay, so they got his cousin instead. All right. Okay, beginning on a date unknown, but no later than or around August 18, 2022, continuing on to August 19th in LA, Central District, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Cuz, Vonnie, Dee, Flocka, and Brown Eyes, and Boogie conspired and agreed with each other to knowingly use facilities of interstate and foreign commerce. Foreign commerce, interesting. Namely airplanes, cars, cell phones, and the internet with the intent that the murder of TB be committed in violation of the laws of any state, namely the state of California. This ain't the state to be doing that dumb shit. Man, listen. They gonna learn though. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Co-conspirator 1, that's Durk, would place bounties on individuals that co-conspirator 1 and other OTF members wanted to kill, including TB. As part of the bounty, co-conspirators known and unknown, including defendant Wilson, would pay anyone who took part in the killing of TB and or reward individuals with lucrative music opportunities with OTF. So if you killed somebody on Durk's list, he would give you a record deal. This is what it's come down to. So you got these young bulls out here killing for record deals. Do you understand? Okay? They out here killing folks for record deals. Could you imagine somebody whacking you because someone told them, if you do this, you'll get a record deal? Like, insane. Okay. Co-conspirators known and unknown, including defendant Wilson, would recruit others, including defendants Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2, we suspect is OTF Jam, to find, track, kill TB. Defendant Grant would procure cars, ski masks, firearms that would be used by co-conspirators to find, track, and kill TB. Now, let me see. Using a credit card associated with OTF, co-conspirator 3 would purchase airplane tickets for the co-conspirators to fly to California and murder TB. Defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 would travel from Chicago to Southern California via airplane to find, track, and kill TB. Okay, cell phone tracking. Okay, co-conspirator 2 would fire multiple shots at TB, killing SR, who was a passenger in TB's vehicle. Once again, we suspect co-conspirator 2 is OTF Jam. OTF Jam just came home from a 12-year bid, right, for guns. It's speculated that OTF Jam was feeling away because his baby mama got killed while he was in prison and nobody did anything about it. So OTF Jam has a motive to tell if he is the one that wore the wire, right? So you already feeling slighted by your chief. So your chief ain't taking care of you. Your baby mama gets murdered. You just came home from a bid and now you just got pinched again. Yeah, I would suspect most people would tell. Okay, let's continue. Okay, overacts. Okay, overacts. On or about the following dates in furtherance of the conspiracy to accomplish its object, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirators 1 through 5, and others known and unknown, committed various acts in Los Angeles. Blah, blah, blah. Using coded language, told defendant Wilson, co-conspirators. Okay, co-conspirators 2, 4, and 5. We'll get the co-conspirator 5. Because now what's being said is co-conspirator 5 apparently is Brick Baby. That's what the streets are saying. Brick Baby. Brick Baby was the one dropping the location. Okay. Co-conspirator number 4, we allege, is Brick Baby. He's the one that's been dropping locations to the guys to find Quando Rondo, to track him. Okay. Brick Baby recently got picked up for some charges. Didn't have a trial. He didn't go to court. He doesn't have a court date yet. And they have his phone. Okay, let's continue. Private jet. Okay, defendant Wilson recruited defendants Jones and Lindsay to travel to California for the purpose of murdering TB and help facilitate such travel by, among other things, texting co-conspirator 3. Here we go. Co-conspirator 3 biographical information about defendants. Okay. Book flights, name, date of birth, picture of defendant Jones' ID card. Okay, so whoever booked the cars had to use your ID. When you go book a rental vehicle, because it's your credit card with your ID. It has to match. Okay, here we go. Co-conspirator 1 text co-conspirator 3, don't book no flights under no names involved with me. Using a credit card ending in 2039 OTF credit card. 1. Co-conspirator 3 purchased 3 airplane tickets for defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston. Co-conspirator 2 to travel from Chicago to San Diego that same day. Co-conspirator 3 confirmed to defendant Wilson via text message that defendants Wilson, Jones, and Lindsay had the same airline ticket confirmation. Wilson messaged a friend on Instagram, on my way to LA. Defendant Houston text co-conspirator 3 on got clear. I'm 15 minutes away from airport. Defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston and co-conspirator 2 flew from Chicago, Illinois to San Diego via the airplane tickets procured by co-conspirator 3 using OTF credit card 1. Okay. Defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, co-conspirator 2 traveled towards LA County in a car to meet with defendant Grant. Grant purchased 4 black ski masks from a sporting goods store in Los Angeles using cash. Okay, using a credit card ending in 1015, OTF credit card 2, defendant Grant rented a hotel room for the co-conspirators located in Los Angeles, the Universal City Hotel. Okay, August 18, Grant met with the co-conspirators and provided defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2, OTF Jam, with firearms, including a firearm that had been modified to operate as a fully automatic machine gun. That is a no-no in California. Okay, California is like 10-round mags, nothing fully auto, nothing. Let's continue. Defendant Grant provided 2 cars for defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 to use, find, track, and kill TB, a white BMW sedan from a rental company in Los Angeles, and a white Infiniti sedan with a fake license plate. Defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 traveled in the BMW and the Infiniti to a hotel in downtown Los Angeles. Using the BMW and Infiniti, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 traveled to the downtown LA hotel where TB was staying to track, find, and kill TB. Using the BMW and Infiniti, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, Houston, and co-conspirator 2 followed and tracked TB's black Escalade to a marijuana dispensary located on Flower Street. Oh, I know where that's at. Holy cow. I know exactly where that's at. Okay, here we go. They followed and tracked TB's black Escalade to a clothing store located on Melrose Avenue in West Hollywood. The below images show the BMW Infiniti following the black Escalade, in which TB and SR were passengers as the black Escalade traveled towards the clothing store. Niggas be on your ass. Wow, that's crazy. Let's continue. Okay. Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 tracked TB's black Escalade to a gas station located on Beverly Boulevard. Defendant Houston drove the Infiniti to an alley behind the Beverly gas station and parked the vehicle so that defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 could attempt to murder TB. Okay. Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 used the firearms procured by defendant Grant, including the fully automatic firearm, to shoot at TB's car, striking and killing SR. That's Lil Pub, who was standing next to TB's car while TB was inside. The images below show defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 firing their guns at TB's black Escalade. So look at all this empty space. You could have hit this person up here in their car. I mean, you're shooting at a gas station. This could have caused, a gas explosion. Good Lord. Wow, that's pretty brazen. That's extremely brazen. Okay. Infinity driven by defendant Houston, defendants Jones and Lindsay and CC2 fled the alley behind the Beverly gas station after the conspirator shot and killed SR. Defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston and CC2 traveled to a hamburger restaurant in Los Angeles where the co-conspirators discussed, among other things, payments to defendants Jones and Lindsay for the shooting earlier that day. There's no way the cops know this conversation took place without somebody cooperating. But you don't have to be a street guy to know this. Let's continue. August 19th, using OTF credit card 1, co-conspirator 3 purchased airline tickets from San Diego to Chicago for defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2. Defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston and CC2 flew back to Chicago from San Diego. Following SR's murder, defendant Wilson paid defendants Jones and Lindsay on behalf of a co-conspirator for their role in the murder. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, aided, abetted, machine gun, blah, blah, blah. Okay, a 10 millimeter caliber firearm equipped with an auto sear conversion device. That's a switch. That's what we call a switch. That's illegal, highly illegal, which was designed and intended solely and exclusively for use in converting a weapon into a machine gun. No, not a machine gun, just fully auto. It just makes the handgun fully auto. This term machine gun, jeez. It's not a machine. Okay, never mind. Let's continue. Okay. Pursuant to titles, convicted they should forfeit, blah, blah, blah. Omission said of property, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Commingle, blah, blah, blah. That just says if they're found guilty, this is what they can do. They'll take your money and property. Okay. Okay. All right, there it is there. If you need to look this up, matter of fact, let me do y'all solid. That is the first indictment of the Furious Five. I call them niggas the Furious Five. Okay, now let's get to Durk's indictment. And we get up out of here. This is Durk's indictment. For those that like to read, like I do, because reading is fundamental. The reading rainbow. Let's go. There is the link for that. Once again, murder for hire in California gets you a mandatory minimum, a mando 30 years. All the way up to life. They're not going to push for life. They're going to put, not death penalty, death penalty. They're not going to push for the DP. They're going to push for life. Durk is what, 30? Okay. United States of America, Central District, California. Durk Banks, aka Lil Durk, aka Mustafa Abdul Malak. Okay, here we go. Okay. This affidavit is made in support of a criminal complaint and arrest warrant against Durk Banks. Conspiracy to use interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death. Okay, they got this shit blacked out. Wow. Banks is the leader of the Chicago-based rap collective. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, for example, based on evidence collected during the investigation, including the interview of witnesses, I know that Banks put a monetary bounty out for an individual with whom Banks was feuding with named TB. The co-conspirators fired at least 18 rounds at TB's vehicle, striking and killing SR, TB's family member who was traveling with TB. October 17th, grand jury sitting in the Central District, California, returned an indictment charging 5 co-conspirators, the Furious Five, let's see, with crimes arising from the murder, including murder for hire and conspiracy to commit murder for hire, resulting in death. I guarantee Durk's going to get hit with the Rico charge. I guarantee it. By the time Durk comes back to LA, he will get hit with the Rico charge. I can smell it. At this point, you might as well. Everything listed in the first complaint, that's a criminal organization. Based on the investigation and as described below, evidence shows that Banks ordered TB's murder and that the hitmen used Banks and OTF-related finances to carry out the murder. There you go. Company money. Company funded. That's an organization. A RICO's coming. For example, bank and flight records show that an OTF member and close associate of Banks and co-conspirator 3 coordinated and paid for Jones, Lindsay, Wilson, Houston, and another OTF member, co-conspirator 2, to travel from Chicago to California on the day of August 18th. Co-conspirator 3 paid for the flights using a credit card linked to Banks and OTF. Around that time, that co-conspirator 3 purchased the co-conspirators' flights to California, blah, blah, blah. iCloud records show that a phone number associated with Banks text co-conspirator 3, don't book no flights under no names involved with me. Banks also traveled to California with another charged co-conspirator, Grant, on a private jet. Bought ski masks, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Earlier this morning, federal and local law enforcement executed multiple search warrants at locations associated with OTF members in and around the Chicago area and arrested Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston. After executing the warrants, the FBI learned that Banks had been booked on at least 3 international flights scheduled to leave the United States today. When Banks arrived near one of the departing airports, he was arrested by law enforcement personnel. Oh, we gotta have. Where's the body cam footage for that? I would love to see the body cam footage for that. Based on my training and experience, my personal involvement in this investigation, conversations with other law enforcement officers, witness statements, and review reports and other documents prepared by law enforcement officers, I am aware of the following. Okay. Murder for hire, discharge of firearms, machine gun and furtherance. It's fed. Yeah. ATF. Yeah. The grand jury also charged Jones with possession of a machine gun in violation of 18 U.S. Statute Code USC 922, subsection O, and alleged in the indictment and others, including SR's family, a rap artist known as QR, Quando Rondo, were near their vehicle at a gas station across from the Beverly Center in Los Angeles when 3 gunmen opened fire on the vehicle, killing SR. Law enforcement personnel recovered 18 shell casings from the murder scene. At the time of the murder, TB had a public feud with Banks, aka Lil Durk. Banks, blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So the feud stemmed from a November 6, 2020 murder where an associate of TB shot and killed an OTF rapper named Davon Bennett. That's King Von. Bennett was a member of OTF and Banks' close friend. According to open source reporting and witnesses, Banks placed a monetary bounty on TB's life. Based on the investigation to date, OTF is a hybrid organization that functions as a Banks-led music collective and a gang. The Rico is coming. The hitmen travel using funds linked to Banks. The day before SR's murder, OTF members learned of the location of TB from a longtime OTF affiliate, co-conspirator number 4. Co-conspirator number 4, we suspect, is Brick Baby. If you don't know who these people are, don't worry about it, y'all. It's okay. Okay? This is crazy. This is all alleged, right? This is all alleged. We don't have proof, but the cops have Brick Baby's phone right now. Okay? Nasty work. After OTF members learned this, the following men took a one-way flight from Chicago to San Diego. Jones, Lindsay, Wilson, Houston, and co-conspirator 2. Okay, the one-way tickets to San Diego were purchased using an American Express card ending in 2039 and in the name of the co-conspirator 3, which is also associated with OTF and Banks. Based on records from Apple, I know that on the same day, a number ending in 9595, believed to be associated with Banks, sent a text message to co-conspirator 3 stating, "Yeah, don't book no flights under no names involved with me." I know that Grant rented and paid for a room at the Sheraton Universal Hotel in Universal City using an American Express card in Banks' name ending in 1015. Okay. I know the 2039 and 1015 credit cards were issued under an account belonging to OA and Astronaut Sounds LLC. Based on public information, I know that OA was Banks' manager in or around 2022. Georgia Secretary of State online corporation records show that Astronaut Sounds LLC was initially registered by OA in 2017. A request of amendment was filed in 2021, and a new manager, Banks, was added to the business. The bank records also show that the Astronaut Sounds American Express account had 4 credit cards issued to 4 individuals: Banks, CC3, Banks' father DB, and OA. Based on my review of records from a private airplane company, I know that Banks and Grant flew on the same airplane from LA to Miami on August 16, 2022, and back to LA on August 18th, the day before SR's murder. Records from a rental property show that Banks' manager OA rented a house in Encino from July to October. Based on an investigator's review of photographs of the interior of the Encino rental, I know that video footage from an August 18, 2022 podcast shows the host of the podcast with Banks, wherein Banks appears to be inside the Encino house. That's the footage y'all see around OTF Jam and all the OTF guys. Okay, yeah, on the day of the murder, surveillance video shows TBSR. Others leave their hotel. White BMW. Okay, approximately 50 minutes after the shooting, surveillance video from an In-N-Out restaurant in LA shows Grant, Jones, and Wilson arrive in murder vehicle number 1. The video also shows Lindsay and CC2 arrive at the In-N-Out in a black SUV. Okay, a few hours after the shooting, Jones, Lindsay, Wilson, Houston, and co-conspirator 2 boarded a flight from San Diego to Chicago. Once again, the credit card in the name of co-conspirator 3 was used to pay for the one-way tickets. In the early hours of October 24, law enforcement arrested Grant, Jones, Lindsay, Wilson, and Houston and executed multiple search warrants in the Chicago area, including a warrant to search the home of co-conspirator 3. Okay. The flights. Shortly after making these arrests and executing the search warrants on October 24th, the FBI received notifications from U.S. Customs and Border Protection showing that Banks had been booked as a passenger on 2 international flights, a one-way flight from Miami to Dubai, United Emirates, connecting through Doha, Qatar, scheduled to depart the evening of October 24, and a one-way flight from Fort Lauderdale to Switzerland, connecting via New Jersey, also scheduled to depart the evening of October 24. Banks did not board either flight. At approximately 6:40, FBI received an additional CBP notification that Banks had been booked as a passenger on a private plane departing Miami and destined for Italy, scheduled to depart at approximately 9 p.m. At 8 p.m., Banks was arrested by law enforcement in the vicinity of the departing airport. Oh, you were an hour away from freedom, bruh. Wow. For all of the reasons described above, there is probable cause to believe that Banks violated 18 U.S.C. 1958 subsection 8, conspiracy to use interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death. 30-year minimum. Mando minimum 30 years, all the way up to death or life. They're going to give him life. He's done. What else is there to talk about?